almost 100% of people didn't know they were gonna die that day. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just go live life and enjoy as much life as got our kids roll. I mean, raise them up to be independent.
So this episode is what he's talking about is why we do what we do, why we're doing what we do. And it's because of all the people that die per day, and a majority of them had no idea, like car accidents, all kinds of things that just take us off this planet.
Like, you just don't know how risky driving a car is every day, and you don't really give it that much thought. But there's so many people dead every day from car accidents.
So what he was saying is that we just wanted to up and see what it was like to live in other countries. Like, we knew, you know, obviously there's a lot of positives to be in the U.S. A lot. Obviously our family's there. There's certain liberties and certain things, obviously, that we're very grateful for, like both of our jobs, like things that came with leaving jobs and things of that nature. So yes, we have so many positives.
We appreciate some things, but my gosh, we definitely.
And we've also learned.
Yeah.
So, in all of our journeys, and please check it out. Like this guy, he's got a big family, and only handful of sisters live in the States. So we made it a point. We've been to Aussie 3 times, New Zealand twice, and beautiful countries. But Rob and I wanted to, there were so many places that we wanted to see, like Greece and Italy and France. And we just thought, you know what, we'll wait till we're old. Like, we had this planned out. But then with all of this information that we look into, and then also my mom passed at a young age, just unexpectedly. And we were just like, you know what, we can manipulate our life in such a way that if we needed to deviate and go back and get the house and, you know, do those things, we could do that. But what we have found is
No, we just didn't want to be like every freaking body else that ever lived. Just grow up, just live, have kids, turn into freaking having grandkids, and just the same old.
That's what he's saying.
We gotta work to save for our kids. We gotta do all this.
So we have different thoughts, just a little bit of different, and that's okay to have different thoughts on certain subjects. That's what will make this contact so interesting. So me for grandma, he just unpacked a lot. So why we did this is so that we could experience all the different cultures and learn about people, but we never wanted to take away time. Now, Rob and I, just a little bit of a background, just a skinny, and then I'll come right back to this point and wrap them together. So Rob comes from a gigantic Samoan family, and I'm the only child between my mom and my dad. Didn't raise with my mom, you know, just raised by my grandma. It was just different life. Rob was raised with lots of people always there, which is great, but it's very different from like
my whole life.
Well, it's very different for now, because like with the way our children were raised, like obviously Rob and I had our children very young, and we have said, being on the travels, we wish we had the same children just later on in life, because obviously you make the mistakes with the first one. Like, you know, he comes from a Samoan family where discipline is no big issue. They're disciplined. And me, of course, you know, we make mistakes with the first one. The second one never really did anything wrong, never really got in trouble. And I just wish that we had been a little bit more mature, right? Because the most important gift that we have is having children, in my opinion, and then being good role models. But when you're so young and you're caught up in what you're doing at that moment, it's effed up, and it's more effed up for the kids, right? Because like, I know I acted like a sister to my oldest son instead of his mom, and you know, there were times we were too hard, we lectured him too much, and you know, so obviously we made mistakes. We spent their whole lives making things up to them financially, but you can never take away the time that you took. So it's very important that being a role model to your children is the most important. And now that we have a grandson, I felt like, hey, I need to be right where my grandson's at, be his biggest cheerleader. But the reality is, these kids are always busy. We hardly ever got to see them. And then with Rob and I discussed it, and we were like, let's just sell it. We sold it. We moved out of the country in September 2022. We sold our house. And of course there were some medical problems that also had an impact on the reason why we did what we did. And so we wanted to live our lives and went to Asia, loved it. There was, you know, different parts of Asia I'm not a fan of because pollution and motorbikes and too many people in one place. Plus I got COVID 3 times since being in Asia, but hey, it shit happens. The point that I'm trying to make is,
Take the booster.
you know, he's had the booster. He's had 3 COVID shots. I've had 2. I know. It just is what it is. I had it once here, once in Bali, and then once back here. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is we wanted to learn different cultures. Europe was something we were going to put off because we thought we'll wait till later, but we're like, what if later never comes? So we changed it so we could go. And we fell in love. Like, I thought France would just be like an Eiffel Tower type place. This guy fell in love with it, and I fell in love with it. But I am more interested, not just France, but all of like, I want to go back to Amsterdam. I want to go to Holland. Like, I want to explore all of the Netherlands. I want to see Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, you know, and it wasn't something that I ever thought I'd be interested in. We had talked about taking the train, you know, and so some people dream about things. Rob and I, we have to live a certain way to make those things happen. Like, we are super like thrifty when it comes to certain things. Like, we do eat lots of beans and rice. We eat sardines. We try to limit our exposure to restaurants.
Champagne.
And then champagne. Champagne was something that I had just a phase last year. We were in France. We didn't even drink any. We still had our duty-free champagne at the airport.
Yeah, because it was cheap then.
It was so cheap in France. And we didn't even drink champagne.
Wait until you get to the 50 to 100.
But anyway, but even with the champagne, if we want to have pop a bottle. Like, we're the ones that work hard for what we do. We're not trying to show off.
We just live on a budget.
We live on a budget. But we're certainly not trying to show off. Like, you know, you guys may not know this, but I didn't finish high school, not even 9th grade. But I did manage to get a GED. I did manage to become a CNA, phlebotomist, certified, associate's degree in nursing, a bachelor's degree in nursing, certified in my field, wrote a book, which I am going to rebrand it so that I can actually talk to you guys about it, because I wrote a chapter about my husband's downstairs. Like, there's so many things that we can do in this one life that we have, that we know of, to try to do the things we have to do so we can do the things we want to do. Like, I'm prepared to work here in Bangkok if I need to. I can go back to the States and work. I can get a job in wherever I can. I just have to go through the process. But my point is, you do what you have to do. You just do. So we live on a budget, and the whole point of this is to explore all the things that we want. What did you think about Europe? What did you think about Europe?
Think about it. You gotta do what you gotta do. No.
Well, just stop doing some things. If you can't do what you got to do in this moment,
That
stop buying.
That still falls under do what you got to do.
Stop getting your nails done. You don't need those nasty nails. You don't need them.
That's what I mean by totality. That's called a totality. What are you going to do? It is what it is.
But I'm just saying, like
you can go negative or positive. And
baby, can you just check this to see if that person's here? We just have a delivery of something, so we're just tracking it. Anyway, yeah, that's why we do what we're doing. And I'm excited. The hubby's getting ready to go to Samoa, and I'll probably just be here making videos. And I'm not leaving my compound because I don't do a whole lot without my Samoan. And plus, he doesn't like it when I'm like out and about. He wants me to be able to just go to the store, come back, because he doesn't want me to get lost. But as far as what it's like to be married to a Samoan, hold up.